Late in 2010, a growing presence of a DJ by the name of Daniel W. Lewis started in the underground music scene, and I, as an amateur filmmaker, went out and tried to learn about this man and his mysterious beginnings and what he thought about his growing success and fame. This is that story.
Alright. Hi.
Who is Daniel W. Lewis?
Alright. So you can't do Daniel W. Lewis without Daniel Day Lewis.
How did you come up with the character of...
I didn't come up with anything, alright? It just, it happened.
How did you become Daniel
I
W.
was
Lewis?
listening to Crystal Method while watching My Left Foot while on ecstasy. It just happened.
How did you know what my question was going to be before I asked
I'm
it?
fucking psychic.
What do you do with that bucket? Would you mind talking about and maybe even playing a little bit of your first club hit?
Of course. Right now? You want me to
Yeah.
play it right now?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm not really prepared, but whatever. Okay, so, like I said, listen to Crystal Method. You'll definitely hear it. Yeah. That was just a little snippet of a 14.5-minute song I made. I hope you enjoyed it.
What has Daniel W. Lewis meant in your life?
Well, what hasn't Daniel W. Lewis meant in my life? It's a way of living one's being. Daniel W. Lewis is, in all aspects, epic.
Now, what made you become president of the Daniel W. Lewis fan club?
I just felt that the world really needed to experience Daniel W. Lewis's music, and they weren't finding a good way to hear it, and I thought maybe I could bring him to the mainstream.
What about Daniel Dub's quote of "everything mainstream sucks," end quote?
Well, I feel that Daniel W. Lewis, with proper exposure to the mainstream, maybe he will not be so disgusted by it.
And with growing exposure came the lifestyle of increased drug use and overall debauchery. The culmination of increased drug use turned itself into the greatest challenge Daniel W. Lewis would ever have to overcome.
I got your money.
Fucking Dub. Always short.
At least I died. A true DJ.
It was the end of a chapter. Where did you first hear any Daniel W. Lewis music?
I was actually in the hospital. I was in a knife fight, and the person in the cot next to me was playing some beats and rapping to it, and I was like, that music really inspired me, and it inspired me to heal from my wounds and to carry on with my career as a beatboxer.
Do you know who that person next to you was?
I believe it was Daniel W. Lewis himself.
After a long hospital stay and several weeks of bedside rest and beat making, Daniel W. Lewis came back stronger than ever. So what do you think of the music you made after your injury and hospital stay?
I think it really transcends greatness, I guess.
How do you compare it to your earlier
It's
work?
completely different. Completely different.
So would you mind playing some of your latest?
Of course. Here it is. Are you ready?
What do you say to the critics who say that you haven't evolved as an artist and that your recent songs sound more like your first songs?
I would say listen to that song again.
Do you know how to read music?
No.
What do you say to people who go, he doesn't play real music, he just...
If they don't think my music is real music, they obviously don't know shit.
Rolling Stone
Hey.
gave your...
Hey. I said no mentioning Rolling Stone.
What about the bad reviews?
If you're gonna mention Rolling Stone again, this interview's over.
Where's your favorite place to be in the world?
Right here.
Where's your second favorite place to be?
Dance floor.
Have you ever met Daniel Day-Lewis?
Of course. Daniel Day-Lewis met me.
Do you mind if I read a quote from him?
Only if it doesn't mention Rolling Stone.
I don't know who this man is. I've heard his quote, music, end quote, and I find it laughable. I've never met him. Where do you feel Daniel W. Lewis belongs in musical history?
At the top. I feel like people will say, Sergeant Pepper, I've abandoned my beat.
If you could say one thing to Mr. Lewis, what would it be?
How?
If you could say a second thing.
Why?
Where can Daniel W. Lewis go from here? Well, only God knows.
All I know is all I know. It's the disco infiltrator for show. What all I see is all I see. But still you want it. Ah, stop! You can't believe what you believe. Or the disco infiltrator will leave. Oh, stupid B.